So everybody, welcome. My name is Becky Negus, she, her pronouns, and I'm the founder and chief care connector for Women in Sustainability. Thank you for being here and spending your time with us during this hour. We know that you all have lots of choices and places you can be and all live very busy lives. So we're very grateful that you are spending this time with us. For those who are new to Women in Sustainability, we are a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to caring for the people who care for the planet through our 4 pillars of community, advocacy, resources, and education to create a sustainable and equitable future through the feminist viewpoint and leadership. We strive to create a safe space for like-minded and diverse individuals to create purposeful connections and conversations like the one we are having today. All are welcome in our community and to be a part of these conversations. So with all that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Erin. I just had the opportunity not too long ago to meet Erin, thanks to Vanessa, who is also joining us today for that introduction, and was really just excited about the work that she's doing and talking about sustainability in this space as well. So Erin is the owner and redefiner in chief, which I love little fun names like that. Erin is a change maker and professional organizer. For 25 years, she's worked to impact lives through service in the public education sector while practicing her love of organization, styling, and design on the side. Room Redefine grew out of the side project and is now a full-scale professional organization and styling company serving the Colorado Front Range from Fort Collins to Boulder to Castle Rock. And Erin brings her passion to this business, bringing change to the lives of others through how we function at home, at work, or in school. The core purpose of Room Redefined is to provide relationship-based organization and design support to our clients that meet their unique needs and goals for their spaces and the way they want to live their lives. So please help me give a very warm Women in Sustainability welcome to Erin Gaskins.
Thank you so much, Becky. It's so much fun to be here. And I just feel so lucky to have met you and met this community. And I'm so excited to get to know it better. When Vanessa first told me about Women in Sustainability, I thought, well, I've got to get connected because in my industry, we deal with so much stuff and we help clients deal with so much stuff. And there's always this kind of turmoil inside of us of, well, how do we deal with stuff responsibly and sustainably? And clients ask us this question. And I feel like we're in this constant state of learning to be eco-friendly and to do what we do better so that we can advise people. So I'm hoping what I share with everybody today just helps you think about organization in your space, helps you give yourself some grace when it comes to organization and the way you use your space, gives you some starting points if you want to organize your space differently or interact with your stuff in your space in a new way. And then think about how organization can help you on your mission towards sustainability. I will share some products and some referral partners and other people that we value in our mission to working in a more sustainable fashion, but the list is definitely not exhaustible. And it's just a few that I could fit into my slides at the end. So please know that we too are always looking for additional suggestions. So please utilize that chat and share with each other as well. So we're going to talk about redefining your sustainable life, how organizing your space can help save the planet and you. And just to tell you a little bit more about Room Redefined, I'm going to close this for myself. There we go. So Room Redefined started about 6 years ago when I left public education. I had been working in the education sector for 25 years. And when I left, I wasn't quite sure what my next step would be until a good friend of mine called and said, well, will you just come organize my house while you're trying to figure it out? Because, well, you're really good at that. So I decided to support her in that endeavor. We had a blast, and it just brought me so much peace to be helping somebody put things right in their space. So we spent some time organizing her home. She's a talker. She started telling people what I was doing, and people started calling. And it was that point when I realized, I think I'm onto something here. People are doing this. And so Room Redefined was born. For about 3.5 years, it was just me working to support clients and, more importantly, really learn from my clients. Because as an educator, it was always important to me to be learning from my students. What do my students need so that I can best help them in their learning journey? Same with my organization clients. What do they need in their homes, so that, or in whatever space they're organizing, and how can I support them in accomplishing their goals? So it's really been a learning process as I grew the business. After about 4 years, then I realized I had a wait list of clients. I needed people to help me continue to grow the business. So I've expanded my team, and there's now a team of 4 women that work with me as well. And really, we're focused on personalized organization support. We want to customize what we're doing to our clients' unique needs and styles. It's not about moving into somebody's space and just putting things in bins and setting things on shelves and hoping that it works for them. We want to make a difference in people's lives. To do that, we use detailed surveys before we start working with clients to help really understand their relationship to their stuff and their space. We also want to understand things like, is there a history of trauma? Is there neurodiversity in the home? Perhaps ADHD, autism spectrum, lots of different neurodiversities and life experiences that impact the way we relate to our stuff and our space. So the more we understand that, the more we can help people change that relationship. Along with that, then we work very hard to be judgment-free and empathetic, because we understand not everybody needs to be great at organizing, but everybody can benefit from having an organized space. So that's where we get to step in and partner with people to help them accomplish their goals. And then we work with people to be as hands-on or hands-off in the process. We love to partner with people and teach them how to feel more in control of their space. But if people want to just turn the process over to us and say, fix it, we're very happy to do that for people as well. Let's see, find my screen here. So here's my team. Let me tell you a little bit about them. As I mentioned, I'm a former educator. I'm a wife. I'm a mother to an 11-year-old, almost 12-year-old son who is also neurodivergent. He is very ADHD. He's on the autism spectrum and he's highly gifted. So there's a lot going on in his head. And as a result, we have things like a lot of Lego in our home that we have to constantly work on being organized with too. The team that has come to work with me has really helped expand what Room Redefined, who we are and what we do. They're not only highly skilled in organization, but they have space planning experience. 2 of them are trained in interior design. One of them even ran her own interior design business before coming to join us. They're trained in closet design, project management. One of them has a background in life coaching, and one of them is from Great Britain. So she claims to be an expert in the Queen of England, the former Queen of England. We also worked really hard to develop some trusted partnerships with handymen, woodworkers, tradespeople, movers, haul-away services, hard to recycle services, estate sale companies, online sale experts, and many other home care partners. Because when we're in people's homes, we realize that just interacting with their stuff isn't normally where the project stops. So we really like to be able to share our trusted resources with our clients and the people we work with. Just to share some of the range of things that we do, we are partners with our clients in residential organization. We're closet design specialists. So when we talk about closet design, we not only help you organize what's in there, but we can take out all of the interior fixtures that you currently have in a closet, design new fixtures, install them, and put everything away. So your closet really is completely new and functioning exactly how you need it to function. We specialize in pre and post move support. We work with people to depersonalize their home and work with them to stage their existing belongings so it looks ready for selling. And we can partner with your real estate agents as well to help accomplish your home sales goals. We do full move facilitation. So sometimes people are ready to move, but they can't stop their existing life just to move into their new home. So we coordinate the packing, we coordinate with the moving companies, we get them out of their old home and into the new. Same with remodeling support. When people decide to do remodeling projects in their home, there's a lot of movement of stuff that needs to happen. And people realize pretty quickly too, that just because you're remodeling a space doesn't mean your relationship to your stuff changes. Your remodel can be much more successful if we partner with you to change how you're living in your spaces as you change the way your space looks and functions. Also, because I have team members that are trained interior designers, we work with existing organization clients to also provide design consultation. So if we're organizing your kitchen or your living room, your dining room, your office, and you also want to change out the paint, you'd like to replace some of the furniture, other design options that you would like some support with, but don't want to hire a separate design firm, that is something that we can support you with. Downsizing is something that we support people with a lot. That transition tends to be very difficult for families and for the individuals going through it, because you're changing the way you see yourself living, and there tends to be a lot of emotional involvement there. So we help people not only think about what they value from the way they used to live, but also then what is essential in the way they want to live for the future. We do office and business organizing, and because I'm a former educator, we're one of the few companies that work in school environments as well. So let's talk about why we as an organizing company do what we do. One thing that's really valuable and important to me is being a part of changing the narrative. I feel like society has embraced and supported the notion that we as women in particular should be these superhumans. It's okay for us to now have careers and work to excel in our careers. But society still puts forth this notion that we should be on top of raising our families, maintaining our homes, taking excellent care of ourselves. And so we are flooded with these messages that we need to be all things to all people. But in our pursuit of doing this, we're exhausting ourselves. And it's just not a maintainable status. Many times I enter a client's home and they say, oh, I'm so embarrassed that I need to have you see my home in this way, that I can't do it all myself. And I kind of look at them like, are you kidding me? You have a successful career, you have 2 kids. Look at all of these things you're doing. It is okay to share the load with somebody else. And so it's really important to me as a business owner to share this message with other women that we can be better people if we support each other in allowing each person to do what they do best and bringing in partners to help with the rest. So let's start talking organization. Most of the time when you think about organization, people start thinking about clutter. And what is clutter? If we were to define it, people would say, well, it's an overabundance of possessions. It's things that create a chaotic or disorderly environment. It can lead to unsafe living spaces. But the kicker is that it's also your stuff. It's artifacts from your life journey. And so even though it's things, excuse me, with emotional attachment. When we think about clutter and the impact on our lives, I pulled out a few quotes and statistics that are fun to think about. Wendell Berry has a quote that says, "Don't own so much clutter that you will be relieved to see your house catch fire." When we put it in statistics, 80% of the items people keep are never used. 54% of Americans are overwhelmed by the amount of their clutter. 78% of Americans have no idea what to do with their clutter. People spend 60 hours per year looking for misplaced stuff. They spend an additional 234 hours per year looking for digital documents. Digital organizing is not my forte. I'm much better with physical stuff, so I can really relate to that statement. 40% of our housework is eliminated when our home is organized. There's also physical impacts of clutter. When we're surrounded by clutter, it's scientifically proven to increase cortisol, which is a stress hormone. That's what we feel when that's what's causing our blood pressure to increase. It's causing, it's making it hard for us to sleep. It's helping us reduce focus and concentration. When we're surrounded by clutter, it tends to steal time from us and reduce productivity. It reduces feelings of peace and contentment. And then it creates hazards leading to falls, poor cleaning, and it fuels fires. So all of these hazards together can lead to falls, broken bones, social isolation, problems with loved ones. And we've even worked with people who are facing possible eviction because they can't get control of their stuff in their space. So there's real physical motivations to dealing with our clutter. Now, we might not all be in that state where we are facing eviction or our homes are physically unsafe, but think about what those impacts are of those pain points that you listed in the chat. If those were less of a pain for you, what impact would that have on your life? And so what I want to do today too is give you a little bit of a process of how you can easily approach those spaces. What do I think about and what does my team think about when we're working with clients to help them take control of their stuff in their space? So that when you leave today, you have some tools in your toolbox for successfully approaching your spaces and gaining control. And the first thing we work to clarify with our clients is, what is their why? Why are they wanting to accomplish greater organization? Why are they wanting to change the way they're interacting with their stuff in their space? Is it something as simple as less stress? Do they want greater functionality in the space? We hear from some clients that they feel like there'll be less arguing and fighting from their family members if their space is more organized. Easier cleanup. We hear all the time from parents, hey, I want my kids to help clean up, but then they just throw things in the closet or hide things in cabinets. It's much easier to clean up if everything has a home, because then people know where to put things when we ask them to put them away. When we're more organized, there's more free time and family time. When we're more organized, there's also less stuff to manage. And we'll talk about how to accomplish that. People tend to feel a greater sense of control when they're more organized. Maybe your why in getting more organized is because you want to set a good example, teach good habits to other people in your family. Maybe it's something not on this list. Maybe you have a specific goal for yourself that you're wanting to accomplish. Any of those can be a really important why. But simple knowledge that organizing is good for you isn't always enough, because organizing is hard work. It's physical and it's emotional. So when we set a clear purpose prior to beginning the work, it's much easier to maintain your focus and drive through the process of organizing your spaces. Then when we go to organize any space, any type of project, we at Room Redefined follow the acronym SPACE. And we didn't make this up. I cannot take credit for it, but sometimes there's people that create something and it makes so much sense, you just borrow and utilize what they already have. And this comes from a model described by Julie Morgenstern, who is a great organizer, and she's written several books describing the organizing process. And this just so concisely describes what we do and what we believe in our work with clients. Once you determine what is your why do you want to get more organized in your home office, in your kitchen, in your master closet, in your kids' playroom, in the garage? What is the next step? Now, I want you to think about that pain point that you picked. And if it's something as large as the kitchen, maybe scale it down a little bit. Think about one specific drawer or cabinet in the kitchen. Think about the junk drawer. If it's your whole master bedroom, think about approaching just the nightstand next to your table, your bed. If it's the kids' playroom, think about one shelf within the playroom or one section in the playroom. We want to start with a manageable space because you want to build up your organizing muscles and feel successful right off the bat. You want to start building that sense of control. And what you're going to do is approach that space and sort. You're going to sort the items into like categories. I'll give you an example on the next slide. Once you look at the categories into which you've sorted things, it's easy to see what you have and take a look at, do you really need all of those things in each of those categories? If you don't, now's the time to purge. I heard Becky talking about how she likes to hoard all of those eco products. If you're hoarding, let's say, eco-friendly cleaners, and you're cleaning out your laundry room where you store your cleaning, maybe you don't need 35 different products. Maybe narrow it down now to the things that you really like and appreciate. Once you've purged, you're down to the things that you really like. Now's the time to look in the space you have and assign a home. You want to be thinking about efficiency, and you want to be thinking about what we call the golden rule of organization. You can't fit more in a space than the space you have to fit it in. So if you're wanting to save those cleaners, you're wanting to save a certain number of clothing items, you're wanting to save a certain number of water bottles. We always have more water bottles in our kitchen than we can find room in our cabinets for. Then it's time to either find a new space in your kitchen or in that room for those things, or continue to purge until you have homes for your things that can adequately store those items. Once you've assigned homes for your things, now you want to look at, what kind of containers do I want to put them in to hold them and keep them organized? Notice that your organizing process didn't start with a trip to Target or the container store. All the time we go into client homes and they're like, I don't know what to do. I just ordered all of these products on Amazon and they're now in my basement because none of them worked. Organizing just doesn't work for me. And it's because they started by purchasing containers rather than going through the sorting, purging, and assigning homes first to figure out what containers will really work in their space. The last step is to equalize. This means you're going to put labels on your containers, and then you're going to monitor those spaces over time to see, how are they functioning for you? Are you able to efficiently utilize and access those spaces where you've assigned homes to things? Are piles building up? This is where you monitor your piles too, because your piles now are your tells in a way of what things in your home don't either have an assigned home or don't have an efficiently assigned home, and they aren't being put away. Now, let me give you a concrete example of how the SPACE acronym works. Let's think about your junk drawer. Most people have one of these, and when we come into people's homes, they open them up and they're like, I don't even know what's in here. It's just the junk drawer. Once we start going through it and they realize what's in there, we start assigning homes to those things, and suddenly then they can utilize those items. So we follow the SPACE acronym. First, we take everything out of the drawer and group like items into piles. All of the pens are together, all of the rubber bands are together, all of the small tools are together, and so on. Then we review the piles. Remove anything from them that they no longer need or want. Do they really need 5 pair of scissors and 36 pens? Usually they look at the pens and say, well, I don't even like writing with 3/4 of these. Great, let's donate those, let's throw them out, let's do whatever we need to do to move them on to a place that is your junk drawer. Then we want to assign a home. You'll notice in the pictures on this page that I have, just putting in some simple drawer organizers to categorize and maintain those categories of things will help you see and find things that you're maintaining in your junk drawer. If it doesn't fit in the junk drawer, where else is it going to live in your home? Think about efficiency, think about safety when you're assigning a home for your belongings. I know when my son was little, we couldn't store things like matches and sharp knives in our junk drawer. We had to put those somewhere out of reach. Containerize. If you're putting your items into appropriate containers in their assigned homes, then they're contained and it's easy to return to their spots. When it's time to clean up, it's easy to know how to put things away. And then lastly, it's this equalizing. This helps you stay honest and accountable. I can't overstress the process of labeling your homes for things. If you're the only one living in your space, it still keeps you accountable. So when something comes into your home and you're like, I want to put this in the junk drawer, but there isn't a labeled space for it, you have to make a conscious decision that it belongs with another category, or you have to create a space for it. These systems, your systems will adjust over time, but it's engaging this conscious decision-making process that's going to help you maintain the organization in your home. So, all right, you get organized, but what does this have to do with sustainability? One thing we know from getting organized is that once you've gone through this space process, you're now down to the things that you know that you need. You know how to find them, you know where they belong in your home, and you know how much space you have to store them. People tend to buy less because they have clear limits on what will fit in their space. For those of you that love to shop at Costco, and yes, I'm a Costco shopper, but there's only certain things I can buy in bulk because I live in a small home. And so if I'm buying too many things in bulk and I just don't have the space to put it, I'm going to create organizational problems for myself. So it becomes part of this conscious decision-making again. You're setting clear limits, you're living within your limits. You're going to know where everything in your home lives, and you can tell when you need more. So many times we go into client homes and we'll clean out their, let's say their cabinet of beverages. The other day I was in a client home and she had probably, 45 different boxes of tea. And she's like, well, I can't remember what I have. So I just go and buy another one every time I'm at the store. Well, if you know where everything lives and you can easily see it, you can tell when you need to buy more. So it's not only reducing what you're purchasing, but it's also saving you money. Once you're saving money because you're not purchasing unnecessarily, you can invest in higher quality products. And I'll share a little bit with some of the products we love because of their quality and because what they can do for us in our spaces. When you're organized, you know what you have, you know the things you have are supporting you in the way you need to live in your space. You can focus on experiences rather than your stuff. You're now living in a space that is helping you feel more in control. It's helping you feel empowered. It's helping you feel less distracted, more focused. So you're not focusing on all of the stuff, but you can focus on your day-to-day experiences. It's impacting your mood, your stress levels, your productivity. And that we see in studies tends to reduce impulse shopping. When people are impulse shopping, many times it's to get that impulse, that input of dopamine. They want to feel better in some way because they're feeling depressed, they're feeling frustrated. It's an easy way to improve the way they're feeling. But then when you come home with that stuff and it doesn't have a place to live in your home, it's almost creating this nasty cycle of, I spent this money, now I don't know what to do with it. If you're organized, then you know what you need to buy, you know what you have space for, you're reducing what you're investing in as far as unnecessary stuff, and you can purchase higher quality products that's going to enhance the way you need to live now. They know from studies that people that are organized tend to have a healthier diet, and then they tend to reduce the stuff they consume. So all of these things support a more sustainable and eco-friendly lifestyle. The question becomes then, how do we, if we're in the process of organizing our spaces, select products for organizing our spaces sustainably? And this is a tricky thing, and it comes down a lot to personal preference as well. The first thing that we really like to talk to clients about is efficiency and functionality over aesthetics. We want to make sure for an organizational system that the products and the systems that you put in place, those containers, once you get to the containerizing stage of your space acronym, are going to really function well for you. Now, if we're trying to be eco-conscious or sustainably minded with what we bring into our home, we may be thinking about only bringing in things that are recyclable, only bringing in things that are naturally made. Those have a very important place, and those are definitely in alignment with many people's personal preferences. But I want to open your thinking too, to make sure that the choices you make are going to help you maintain your organizational systems in your space. And point out that some of the products we purchase that aren't on the surface appearing more eco-friendly are very organizational friendly. And then in the long run, they're going to help you be more sustainably minded. So here's some things to think about. First of all, follow the SPACE acronym to make sure you are selecting items that will actually work for your space. Once you've sorted, you've purged, you've assigned homes, look at what you need to house items in the space you have. Then evaluate what you already have. You don't have to run out and buy more. In the picture here, I have shoe boxes. I can't tell you how many shoe boxes I have in my home for things I don't need to be able to visually find. Instead, I've put them in shoe boxes. I've labeled the shoe boxes and they are ready to go. Think about balancing your choice of materials and functionality. For example, natural wood bins versus clear glass or plastic bins. We love to shop at the Container Store. It's our happy place. I worked there for a period of time, so have several of my staff members. So we know all of their products really well. They make some beautiful bins that are made out of bamboo, acacia wood, other wood products that are beautiful in your home. But when we bring them into the Colorado climate, the wood tends to split. So when we think about it from a sustainability side of things, even though they're a natural product, they many times need replacing sooner than some of our plastic or glass products. So those are why we want to think about what do we like for our home, but also what's going to last and be sustainable. We also like the idea of clear plastic bins, not only because they're durable, but because people can see what is in them. And for a lot of people, that is key to setting up effective organizational systems. Another thing to think about is investing in quality products that will last and are from a brand with longevity, so you can add to them over time. A lot of people feel more organized when there is visual consistency in their space. So it's just another trick to bringing that level of calm and focus to your space, if the things you're using to organize have that consistency. If you're purchasing something on an impulse that may look good now, but is going to change in what they have in stock frequently, you're not going to be able to duplicate that if you need another bin or another container to match that. And eventually you're going to feel that frustration or that push because your containers are not matching. And that's where we have people that want to switch out all of their organizing bins. And then we're running into a non-eco-friendly organizing situation. So look for brands, look for products that are lasting, have been in place a long time, and are from reputable companies. And I'll give you some examples of what some of those are on the next couple of slides. And then I already mentioned this last example, know what works in our climate. For example, bamboo and other woods, they're beautiful, but if you're not going to oil them every month or two, they're going to split on you and you're going to become frustrated with those products. So this is not the most visually friendly slide, but I wanted to make sure that you had these resources for when we send out the presentation to you after the discussion today. What I included in here are just some different products that we love to use in our organizing projects. Making this list is a little bit like someone asking you to pick your favorite child in your family, because there's so much that we love to use. But I wanted to give you places to start. When it comes to shelving for spaces, the first place we love to go is the Container Store and their Alpha products. They're adjustable, they're durable, and they are copied by so many different companies, but none of them are made as well and are as lasting as what we've found with Alpha. Also, Alpha has been there, I think, since the 80s. I can't remember when it was first introduced, but they haven't changed significantly other than to update colors and add some additional design elements. So there's something that's so durable, they can be moved from home to home. They can be reused in different spaces. So when you're thinking about investing in a quality product that's going to be able to be used over time, Alpha is a great solution for you. Those of you that like clear storage bins and are okay with using plastic, they're called R boxes because they're made by the Container Store themselves, are great clear storage bins. They come in tons of sizes. And so they just offer so many solutions. Again, they've been there forever and they haven't changed other than to add additional sizes. So they're going to be a good investment for your space. Storage bins that aren't plastic, look great and work well in our climate include the Hyacinth bins from the Container Store, which are woven bins. They aren't going to split on you, but they give you kind of that wooden look and come in different tones. Some clear bins that are set up specifically for your pantry, which again, for us, we really believe in clear storage for kitchens and pantries because it helps you see what you have, therefore reducing what you're buying, which is a very eco-friendly practice. Are the clear pantry bins that I have linked here. If you prefer something fabric, there's some fabric bins that I linked here. They're very budget friendly and they're great in closets. They're great in kids' playrooms throughout the home, really. We love this next item, which are Felt-Right tiles, which are mountable felt tiles to go on walls. They come in a whole range of colors. They're essentially like cork tiles, but they're made out of felt. And they actually look like an art installation, but they're pinnable, they're sound dampening, and they use recycled water bottles. So they're very eco-friendly. And they're just a fantastic company out of Salt Lake City. The last thing I share is a very budget-friendly option for storing things in garages and sheds. These are plastic, but I bought these shelves for my garage, gosh, probably 25 years ago, and I'm still using them in my basement today, and they've moved probably 3 to 4 different homes. These HDX brand shelves are so easy to put together. They're budget friendly and they're durable, great for places where aesthetics are not your primary goal. The next slide that I wanted to share with you are some partners that we love to work with because their values and the way they do business align with our values, and they align with the values of a lot of our clients. Many times we have clients that need to either get rid of a lot of stuff or large items. So there's 3 companies that we work with frequently here in Denver. There's lots of others out there too, but these are 3 good places to start. The first one is called Gone for Good, and they are a junk removal company that also runs a thrift store. They will come pick up all of your items, including hard to recycle items. Then anything they feel they can sell in their thrift store to people that can, for items that can still have a life left in them, they will sell at very low prices to people that can use them. The rest of the items, they will work with hard to recycle companies to recycle. So only the bare minimum goes to landfill. The Junk Trunk, which is the third partner that I listed here, they are similar, but they do not have a thrift store option in there. So just a slightly different take on an eco-friendly approach to removing lots of items from your home space. The other side is a social enterprise that we've recently become familiar with and we've been very impressed with so far. The other side is a social enterprise that supports people that have been incarcerated. They've gone through addiction, they've gone through homelessness, and they're working to change their lives, learn work skills, learn life skills so that they can lead their lives in a brand new way. They live together, they work together, and they run a furniture thrift store to help support the programs and their living arrangements. They also run a moving company. And what we've found through working with them, first of all, we love that they will come pick up large items like working appliances and furniture, and they will pick it up for free. Whereas Gone for Good and the Junk Trunk, you do pay them to come pick up your stuff. The other side picks up these items for free if they feel like they can sell them in their thrift store. So that's a great bonus. Then they also run an amazing moving company. They have 5-star reviews on Google, and their services we found are great because of their backgrounds that are so well known and advertised through their business. They feel like what they offer to their clients has to be so much better than everybody else to convince people that it is good to work with them. And we've gotten feedback from our clients that they truly are an exceptional moving company. For hard to recycle items, when you don't need to call a big haul away company, but you don't know what to do with your stuff, here are some ways that we handle things through Room Redefined. We have clients that may have a lot of books, some modern textbooks, people that are getting rid of music CDs, Blu-rays, records. If we're wanting to just donate these items, one of the places we love to do that is with the Denver Public Library Foundation. You can go to the website that I've listed here, and it tells you where and how to donate these. I believe you can take 1 or 2 boxes at a time to any library branch, But then if you have a larger load, then we just make appointments with the main branch downtown, and they let us come drop it off, help us unload our car, and they then take the donations, sort them, and sell them, or donate them to different agencies so they can raise money for the public libraries. Each of my organizers also has a subscription to Ridwell. We had looked into Happy Beetle, but I wasn't able to get that in all of my employees' neighborhoods at the time. Both of these companies are similar in that they are subscription hard to recycle services. We all have bins in front of our home where we can put hard to recycle items from our own homes and from employee or from client homes. Things like clear plastic, threads that are no longer wearable, light bulbs, batteries, fluorescent light bulbs, paint, corks. The list just goes on. And then each month they have specialty items like cords or small electronics that we can also put in, and they come pick them up every 2 weeks and they're just gone. So it's a very efficient way for us to get rid of things as well as move things along for our clients. A couple last resources that I'll share with you. Dress for Success is an amazing support for women who are looking to re-enter the workforce. So if you have clothing that can be worn in professional environments, they are a great place to donate clothing items that you no longer wear. And then A Precious Child is an organization. They are based up in Brookfield. They take donations of clothing for people of all ages and genders. They also take things like school supplies. They take some home items, a few furniture items. You'll want to check with them ahead of time. But they also do an amazing job of getting clothing and other necessary home items to families that need them. We walked through their space a couple of weeks ago, and people get to come in and shop without having to spend any money. They are given a certain allowance for products that they need there. And it's a beautiful environment where people walk away feeling like they've just been shopping in a really clean, lovely store. So we love supporting these organizations too, and involving them in helping us get rid of things in a sustainable, eco-friendly way. I know there are so many more places out there. That's just the tip of the iceberg, and I'm sure you guys have some great recommendations that you can share in the chat too. So I welcome all of those resources. To kind of wrap things up, I wanted to share a couple quotes. I love this from Linda Peterson. She says, with organization comes empowerment. And that's something we're always wanting for our clients. We're not wanting to just come in and get control of their space for us. We're wanting them to feel like they're gaining control of their space. When we leave, we want them to feel greater empowerment. And I'm hoping as you leave the talk today that you're feeling like you can approach your spaces feeling more empowered in your ability to organize them and live slightly more sustainably. I also like this quote from Steve Jobs: deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do. You know, when people are going through the process of organizing and decluttering, people typically enter it with this mindset of, oh, I have to think about everything I'm going to get rid of. We like to recommend to our clients that you think instead about what is essential for me to keep in the life I want to be living now. Decide what you're not going to get rid of and how that's going to support you in the life you want to live. And then the rest of it you can let go because it's not going to support you in today's life. As we close it up, I want you to think about what you do best and how you're going to find people who share your values to help you accomplish all the rest of that stuff. Because we're women, we're highly capable women, but we don't want to kill ourselves by being these super women all the time. We want to do what we do best. I want you to have a space that supports you in living your best life because that's so empowering to us. And I want you to know that once you are organized, your space will support you in living a life that is more sustainable. I'll just leave you with this last slide. You'll notice at the bottom that if you mention this webinar, if you reach out to me, there's a coupon for 10% off your first 5 hours of organizing. I'd love for you to reach out through my website. There's a place to book a 15-minute chat. If you have questions, if you have small projects where you're like, I just want to pick Erin's brain about this, give me a call. Let's have a 15-minute conversation. I love doing that. If you think you want more support, we can schedule a free consultation too to talk about whether or not it makes sense to partner with you to help you achieve your organizational goals as well. And that's it. Thank you, everybody.
Amazing, Erin. Oh my gosh, I've learned so much. I really enjoyed the tip about the wood. That was very new to me. And yeah, learned so much. Everybody, please, round of applause. Drop your questions into the chat. We've got a couple minutes. We can ask a couple of questions. We did have a question at the beginning, and you kind of touched on this a little bit throughout, but it's just, I think it's a good point, and when I get a little more specific to it, but the question was on gender politics. So men, women, non-binary, and the expectations of organizing. One thing this person struggles with is feeling the need to go a bit overboard to have a perfect looking space versus having the space that serves them. Specifically, I think, you kind of noted us as women tend to have a little bit of a mindset around that. So we'd love to get your thoughts on that.
And I think that's something that social media is really, we're really fighting against this tide in social media. Magazines and Facebook and everybody is trying to sell us a lot of products to make our spaces look perfect. And so then there becomes this expectation that if we're really doing our job as homemakers, whether women or men, then our space looks perfect. And so it's creating this unhealthy expectation. And then we start working with people too, so many of my clients who are neurodivergent. And they think, well, I could have a space that looks like a magazine, but number one, I can't maintain it. Number two, it's not going to work for me. So I really work with my clients to think about, how does your space support you? How can it be effective functionality over that aesthetics first? Then if you want to add in some aesthetics afterwards, that's great. And that's really too why we love to add in the design consulting in our business, but we feel like it's so important to address that organization first, because you can create a beautiful looking space, but if it doesn't function, it's just not going to work for you. It's not going to be maintainable.
I think that's so important. I wrote down like that labeling system, right? Something that makes you think about things before you buy them. Do I have a space for this before I purchase what this is? If anybody has any tips, I wanted to know if anybody knows my love of trash and talking about trash. This is one of the reasons why Erin and I bonded very quickly, because we could talk about all these amazing resources that she shared. And I know there's some people that are joining from out of state. There are many resources in many states. So there was, some of these were specific to Colorado, but there's a lot of similar resources in all states across the US. So if you are looking for something, just, try to Google it or contact your local haulers. They can give recommendations. I also dropped in a website called Recycle Nation. That's a great place to research for what might be local to you for organizations that will take your items and sustainably dispose of them. You can always reach out to me. It's my favorite topic to talk about trash. So always to help support. Erin's help, here to support. And if you have additional resources, drop those in. And I don't usually do this, but I'm also interested in what's one action everybody wants to commit to between now and the end of summer, so Labor Day weekend, that you want to take on cleaning out your space. Just one simple little action that you want to commit to over this next month and some days. And while you do that, Erin, my question for you is, kind of looking into your crystal ball, and thinking about your work and sustainability, what do you kind of see for the future of sustainability in general and in this area?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. Yeah, I've been so encouraged to continue to find resource partners who are putting a greater emphasis on working with hard to recycle items. And I feel like it's going to become more of a norm for people to be able to access those on a regular basis. So I think that's something that is already starting to happen, and an awareness that's already increasing. Gosh, you caught me. Other areas that we are, I feel like people are really becoming conscious buyers too. Another thing that I'm seeing is people are not able to move as readily, either because of high home costs or because of high mortgage rates and so forth. So people are placing a greater emphasis on making their existing homes more functional, which I think is actually a great message for sustainable living. Rather than just trashing everything that's old and starting over somewhere new, how are we going to think about our practices in our existing place, and how are we going to make them work better for the way we need to live?
I love that so much. Well, everybody, please help me give a huge thank you to Erin for this wonderful presentation, all this amazing content that you shared with us today. A lot of commitments going on in the chat. People are saying jewelry and art supplies and cleaning out that junk drawer that you kept mentioning. Donna, I have some resources I will send in the follow-up. Thank you for that question about places that you can take your clothing that potentially is not good for a Goodwill or ARC thrift store. Happy to share some of those with you. And Erin, if you have any thoughts on that too, you can share that. We'll send an email follow-up with all these resources with Erin's presentation, Erin's contact information. Please follow her, stay in touch. We've got lots of webinars that we'll be announcing soon and coming up. We've got one next month with Bree talking about connections. So for womeninsustainability.org. I also dropped our Eventbrite link in there and hope that we'll see you all. We have a happy hour next week at those in the town in Denver. Come hang out with us, grab a drink, and get to connect with one another. And we're so thankful for you being here today. Erin, as a thank you from Women in Sustainability, we will be planting 3 trees in your name through our partnership with One Tree Planted. So you will receive a certificate with information about your trees that are planted in North America to support local communities. So
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Great. Yay. Thank you so much, everybody. It was really fun to be here.
Thank you. Thank everybody for joining us. Have a wonderful afternoon. Stay cool out there. Stay hydrated.